All right, so there's this guy, his name's Spencer, and he's out fishing. He's at a river, and he sees something kind of glinting, under the water. And he's like, I want to find out what that is. So he finds it. It's a camera, and it looks terrible.
Oh, it's in terrible shape. In fact, he's like, I don't even know if this is going to work or not. So he opens up the battery case and stuff like that, and water just pours out of that. And so, but he cleans up the memory card, and sure enough, there's pictures on there.
Yeah, there's pictures of a bachelorette party.
Okay.
There's I guess a tubing trip, which kind of makes me think that's where the camera was lost.
Yeah, he posted it on a local Facebook community page, and people were like, hey, that's me. And they started recognizing themselves in the photos. And I think Coral was the name. It's like, yeah, that's it. I was on a tubing trip, and I lost my camera 13 years ago.
13 years ago. The surprising part of this to me is the camera really didn't travel that far.
No.
It was like a mile, not even a mile and a half.
Yeah, about 1.2 miles.
Yeah.
It just went downstream. And the fisherman was right there, so it had to have been visible at times. And
well, but after maybe a week or two, you're like, well, it's gone forever.
Yeah.
And I'm not even going to think about this anymore. So 13 years of decay, but you got to give it to the SD card company.
I know.
Whoever made it, that thing held up.
I think it was an Olympus.
Yeah, and now they have their bachelorette party pictures.
Those memories.
All those memories that they thought were forever lost.
All right. Have you ever lost something and then it showed up?
I would love to hear that story.
Yeah,
right?
you can give us a call at 800-447-7234. My wife's spring cleaning this week, and I knew I had a winter jacket that her mom had given me, and I'm like, I can't. She found it.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Just when you need it.
When spring's here.
You're listening to Rob and Lizz in the morning.
His radio.
Okay, so we're talking about losing things because this fisherman finds a camera 13 years after it was lost in a river.
Yeah, and you would think, okay, it's gone. And the camera was toast.
Yeah.
But we pulled the memory card out, dried it and everything, and the pictures were still on there.
Yeah, it worked.
Mm-hmm.
And so where did you lose something? 800-447-7234. And how'd you get it back? Jess texted and said, I lost my Precious Moments Bible when she was 7. I remember those. Oh, I love them. She left it at church camp when she was in her early 20s. So this is at least 13 years later. Her grandma went to the same church camp, and there in the library was that Precious Moments Bible, and she got it back. Grandma brought it back to Jess.
Oh, that's
awesome.
special. Do you still have your first Bible?
I do. It was given to me by kind of a stranger, somebody my dad worked with, and it's got a note inside of it. Still have it. Love that. Royce texted and said, while I was stationed in Germany, I had a simple Zippo lighter, had his initials engraved on it, and he would lose it. Somebody else would find it, and then he might even see a complete stranger using his lighter that had his initials. Said it just kept happening like 3 or 4 times.
Oh, my gosh.
So how cool is that?
But he found it. Yeah.
He did.
You're listening to Rob and Lizz in the morning.
His radio.
I love this update to a story when something's lost and then it resurfaces and it gets back to its owner. So little Brewer is a kid's name. We were talking, I think it was yesterday, about a little stuffed pig.
The little jelly-cap bashful pig?
Yes, that was left on a United flight at GSP. At Greenville-Spartanburg Airport. And Carol had been posting on Facebook, trying to find its original owner. Well, the pig's name is Pete, and the well-loved Pete the pig is back with 7-year-old Brewer. So he's back home. Yay!
Yes,
I love a good
back,
story.
And I love that spot because he's had it since he was a kid.
Yeah,
since he was
still
a
kid,
baby.
Since he was a baby.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's probably some, slobber and snot on there, and that's okay because that's the way they're supposed to be loved.
I love those lost stories. Johnny, what's up?
I lost a $350 pair of Oagleys in the Reedy before we knew it was not really cool to go swimming in the Reedy, way down like south part of Greenville. But yeah, and they weren't recovered because it was so murky for some reason. I didn't know why.
I know why. We ain't gonna talk about that, Johnny.
I think Copper may have took a visit down to the river there and went down to the river like Jordan Felipe said.
You're listening to Rob and Liz in the morning.
His radio.
I want to know how I can get a job like this.
What's that? Hugging a bear?
Hugging bears. I love me some animals.
Would you do that?
In a heart, I would do that right now. I would do that in the next 20 minutes, if possible.
Ninja, how about you? Hugging a bear?
Oh, yeah.
Jake?
Yes, listen. Bears are my favorite animal ever.
I didn't know that.
Yes, love me some bears. And yeah, if I get to hug a bear, I'm there.
Why is
rhymed.
it?
It was like a Dr. Seuss rhyme.
Why is a bear your favorite animal? I want to know this.
It just kind of became a thing. And I'm a fan of the Memphis Grizzlies basketball team. And so it's a double win. I don't know. I just love me some bears.
Don't hug a grizzly.
Oh, yeah, don't hug a grizzly.
That's just
Could be
Mama Liz'
unbearable.
word of advice of the day.
Okay, so I hate to burst y'all's bubble.
Why?
But
Well,
I'm
then
going
why?
to. Well, New Mexico Fish and Game put this out there. We're looking for some bear huggers.
Yay!
Yeah, but actually they're looking for conservation officers. And so part of your job would be you have to go into bear dens and keep track of some bears they're tracking and stuff like that. Now, as they tranquilize Mama.
Okay, I was wondering where Mama was at this point.
Okay, so my brother-in-law does this. He's a conservation officer as well. So they'll have to, they have bears they track. And so once a year, maybe twice a year, they go and usually once a year because I go in the wintertime, maybe sleeping more.
She's already,
They'll find the den. They'll tranquilize. They'll bring her out. They'll weigh her. They'll take some blood, some hair samples, and things like that. And so as they're doing that, they have to kind of cuddle the bears, the cubs that are there, so
to
they
keep
don't,
them from
don't freak out.
Yeah, and whining and waking her up. And I'm just thinking, you're weighing a bear? Like, I don't want to make her mad.
Well,
like, you got to give her a heads up.
Mama's getting some sleep. She's been tranquilized.
Okay,
so.
but I'm saying you got to give her a heads up if you're going to weigh her.
Well, yeah,
because she's got to, drink more water.
She don't
wear
care
the thin pants that day. The whole thing.
You're listening to Rob and Liz in the morning.
His radio.
He's a gym guy. He's a fitness guy. And I think Henry's his name. He's like 21, and so saw the protein amount like in some dog food, and so he decided to try some kibbles and bits. First of all, this is what and this to me just smells like a little publicity there, because he's like, hey, if I get 15,000 likes, I'll try some dog food. Well, I got 2.5 million likes.
Oh, so it worked.
So, yeah, but it was like the kibbles and bits oven roasted beef with spring vegetables and apple flavors. It sounds
pretty delicious.
Pretty good. But I think I would have been, as I looked at the grams and stuff of protein, I would have been stopped right there, because it's like 666 grams.
In a serving?
Yeah. Or I guess in the whole bag.
In the whole bag.
I don't know, because or maybe it wasn't a serving. It's about 600 more grams of protein a day than you should have.
You're supposed to. I think women, if I remember correctly, it's like 45 to 50, or 60, depending on how you're working out, how much you're working out. So
yeah.
Good grief.
Said it was like little pieces of dirt. Definitely, I don't think it was worth it. I think maybe if I want some protein, I'll have steak or a protein
bar
shake.
Yeah, something. My dad ate dog food when he was little. My aunts, Margie and Catherine. They were pulling a prank on their brother, and they made him a sandwich out of like canned dog food.
No.
Yes.
No.
And he ate it.
I bet he got sick, didn't he? Wow.
He said, "That's good. Can y'all make me another sandwich?" And they did, and he ate it, and then they told him.
You're listening to Rob and Liz in the morning.
His radio.
So my husband, when he proposed during a meteor shower. He had no idea it was happening.
Oh, I thought he planned that.
No, I mean, planned the proposal, and it was awesome. But God decided to give him a little help, a lot of help. Not really. But it was a meteor shower. It was gorgeous, right? So proposals, sometimes they're really well planned out, and then sometimes they're not. But this one, I feel like, really planned out. So this is Jose, and he, his girlfriend Alicia, he wanted to do this thing right. So they went to New York City, went into Times Square, and she's, there looking at all the sites, probably doing a little people watching, maybe thinking about shopping. And he points out that there's something on one of the billboards. And their billboards are those digital billboards, and they change. And it said, will you marry me?
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, so he proposed right there in Times Square, had the ring, did the thing. It's not that expensive. It was actually a picture that he put up on this billboard. It's like $150.
Oh my goodness, really?
You can barely get a hot dog in New York City for $150.
I know.
And so it's only displayed for 15 seconds, but it's up there every single hour for 24 hours. So if you miss it the first time around, like she doesn't turn around in time or whatever, he's got another opportunity. But it really did have to be pretty well planned.
Do they know a time when it's coming up?
I don't know if they know a time, probably a general time.
Okay.
And so he was ready for it. She saw it happen. And by the way, she said yes.
You're listening to Rob and Liz in the morning.
His radio.
They play baseball. Usually you're going to have your Gatorade, your Powerades, your water, your bubble gum, your sunflower seeds. These are the things that make a dugout.
Necessities. You've got to have these in the dugout.
Yes, baseball dugout, these are the things. An espresso coffee maker, maybe not so much unless you're a team from Italy.
Of course. That's that's what they're known for. It's like water to them is having some coffee. And they were kind of mad at the espresso machines that they had and the paper cups, and it just wasn't working out for them.
No. And I think they still had to use the paper cups because just in case if you brought something that was porcelain or, glass or whatever, probably wasn't the best idea.
Yeah, foul balls and
that kind of thing.
Getting knocked off the bench and everything.
Getting struck out and having a little bit of a temper.
Man, could you imagine?
Yeah.
No, okay.
No.
So,
but they did. Italy, I think, was knocked out of this World Baseball Classic not early on, but they certainly, I think the championship was last night and Japan took home the title. But
they beat the U.S., but Italy, it kind of brought some spotlight onto them because everybody's talking about the Nespresso machine they had in the dugout and everything like that. So who knows? They're talking about. Can you imagine you're an Italian team and you got the team is all made and then you got the bat boy and then your own barista and he's in there in the dugout and he's.
Can you make a cold foam? Please?
Yes, I'll take a nitro cold brew. It's the top of the 7.
You're listening to Rob and Liz in the morning.
His radio.
Mike is on the phone. Got a question for you, Liz.
Would you do me the honor and coming to my church and singing a duet with me?
Me?
Yeah.
I would be there for that. Yeah.
Your voice great.
Mike, I think you need some Q-tips or maybe a trip to the doctor to check those ears.
Mike and Liz. Sunday.
Hold on, I'm a audition. You ready? I'm so blessed.
Okay.
Hallelujah, I'm blessed. I'm so blessed. How's that?
Sounds fine by me. When do you want to do it?
Speechless. You left him speechless right there.
Oh, Mike, you don't want that. But thank you for calling because that's hilarious. What, Mike?
He heard you singing on the air.
Well, I was singing the word vacay because our first day giveaway for our spring fundraiser is vacay your way. You get a vacation anywhere you want to go. And so I was saying it's a vacay.
Mike heard you and he's ready.
Mike.
He listens to his radio all the time and is inspired by the songs he hears and he sings them in church. He wants
does.
you to join him.
I do sing a joyful noise unto the Lord. It's not necessarily joyful for anyone.
You're listening to Rob and Liz in the morning.
His radio.
Sometimes when I need to take that big deep breath and breathe, I love to get in the car, just turn his radio up and take off down the road. It's Rob and Liz in the morning on his radio. I'm Brian in for Rob this week.
I got a couple of places you can do that.
You do? Okay.
So somebody came out with a list of the best drives to take over the spring.
Okay.
And a couple of them ended up being in the Carolinas.
Okay.
Okay. So the first one is Cherokee Foothill Scenic Highway. That's in South Carolina. So that follows South Carolina 11. Now you get to see a good bit of South Carolina. Spartanburg, Greenville, Pickens, Oconee counties, Gaffney. So you'll see the Peachoid. You'll see waterfalls, covered bridges, peach orchards in bloom. Right? Just
cool.
Gorgeous. North Carolina, the Outer Banks Scenic Byway. Said it's 145 miles through the islands. That's the easternmost portion of North Carolina that goes along the Atlantic. And so it's, Nag's Head, that area, just absolutely gorgeous. So it's a totally different experience. What I think, take
mountains
both drives.
to see.
Yes.
I know.
Which we are so grateful and so blessed to be in this area.
Yeah.
That within a couple of hours, you can be in the mountains. Within a couple of hours, you can be in the ocean, depending on where you are. It's just an amazing place to live. I used to think growing up, I didn't want to be in the South. You know what I mean?
Oh, you wanted to be somewhere else?
Well, as a kid, I was like, why couldn't I have been born in New York City? Why couldn't I have been born, in one of these other places?
Yeah.
I was so young and naive because this is literally the Carolinas and Georgia, the Southeast, best place in the world.
I could see you, though, in New York City.
For a hot minute, because I'm going to get real tired of it real quick.
Rob and Lizz.
His morning crew.
A little confused about all this owl stuff that's happening.
The what?
Owl stuff.
Owl?
Oh, it's AI.
Oh.
All this AI stuff. I see it all the time, and I think it's
Yeah.
owl things that are going on.
It's odd. It's super odd. It's kind of being used, I guess, to find out where the happiest colleges are because they're looking at facial expression.
Okay, I'm wondering if this is before or after finals when they're checking out.
This is before. This is right before spring break. So what they found was that the most selfies and the facial expressions within those selfies,
Yeah.
if they were tagged at colleges.
Yeah, they geotagged. And,
Yes.
Yeah,
And so they found some of the happiest colleges. Now, I will say, like in the top 10, we've got a couple in the Carolinas and Georgia. Actually, University of Georgia is number 11. So I'll say
Yeah,
that.
right out there.
Yeah, and then Georgia Institute of Technology is pretty happy at number 8. Clemson is number 6. Elon is number 5. And so that's as high as we are. Elon University, Carolinas and Georgia, that's the highest,
Yeah.
most happy.
UNC came in at 16.
Yeah, it
UNC
was a little farther down
a little
the
further down. But that's a higher ranking they had in basketball this year. Oh, I shouldn't have went there. I'm
That was
sorry.
Brian. Spell that Brian. But the number one happiest according to facial recognition and all this AI stuff, Texas Christian University in Fort Worth.
I love it, a Christian university.
I do too.
Coming in at number 1.
Rob and Lizz.
His morning crew.
You will never know on this earth the stories of some people and how God came into their lives because some people are just very close with that kind of emotion and it's hard to share that story. But then there are people that will share how they met Jesus and how that came about, how God got them through some of the hardest times in their lives. See, we have our spring fundraiser. It's called Fundraiser. It's coming up in just a few short weeks. We're less than 3 weeks away now. And you can help change someone's life. God working through you and your gifts to this ministry to change lives. Now, we do have someone that shared their story, and this is just one face of one of those stories that you have the opportunity to encourage daily.
Yeah, it's our friend Ken.
I lost a son about 7 years ago, and y'all really ministered to me through that and other things too. But really, in that moment, the worst time of my life, his radio was really, really there for me.
I know it's hard even, now every single day, but you have the one that provides that hope and that peace for you.
And you
And
called.
God didn't give me a ministry through that. It's amazing.
Wow.
He puts me in front of young people everywhere I go so I get to share.
Yeah, you called to give us hope and encouragement, and you gave us hope and encouragement today, Ken. So thank you.
Thank y'all for what you do.
Oh my goodness, yeah, hope and encouragement that Ken is 7 years down the road. Sometimes it's way down the road before people can even talk about and share issues that they've been going through. But you provide that lifeline for Ken and others like that need hope every day. Loss of a son. And he tunes into his radio and he's ministered to, Liz, and he hears the songs, the hope and encouragement. No, I'm not alone.
And not only has he, and he's not through it, obviously. That is going to be a lifelong struggle to deal with the loss of his son. But that encouragement has also made Ken turn to working with young people.
Yeah, open doors for him.
Right. And so he can, from experience, share with these young people, the youth in his church and beyond the church doors, that struggle that his son went through.
Yeah.
And so you make that possible with your gift. You can give a gift of support to the ministry of His Radio, even right now. You don't have to wait until our fundraiser starts. Give us a jump start. You can do that online at hisradio.com, the My His Radio app, or text the word GIVE to 800-447-7234.